Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakbadash. And I want to say Shalom to Akhman Akwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Where Was He Wrong? And in parentheses, gender roles. All right, now this is coming, another lesson, all right, that was inspired, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiao Shai, from a photo, if I could speak right, a photo that I found on Reddit. I get this open in the private tab, so you won't, all my account information isn't linked in here. Sometimes it's fine, but sometimes on certain subs, like it'll have my user thing here, and I don't need no wacko bug out creeping on me and sending me messages or whatever. So this is from Facepalm. All right, of course, as I usually find these, I found this on the popular side of Reddit, which usually it's on your phone, it's different, but right here you can just go to popular, and then you'll just see all the things that are blowing up, things that are popular. So, and it was in here, all right, a few days ago. Matter of fact, one day ago, and I went ahead and put it into my saves, and I said, all right, we're gonna have to do a lesson on that. Just same time I found it on the same time. I believe it was Sabbath, or I believe it was on Sabbath, and it was same time I found that that video of that Moabite that we did the lesson on yesterday. So yeah. So it says psychopath. We're going to go ahead and read it. It's a text. Now, this is a text from this lady's boyfriend, or ex at this point, right? And it says, I guess they got into some type of argument. And it says, the world worked like that since Bible times, and it has worked for almost 3,000 years. The moment humanity fucked up is women's suffrage. That was the beginning of the bad times. There's a reason you carry the child and not me. It's your intended purpose as a woman. Like the reason I have big muscles and larger is so I can work and build. The reason you have tits and a uterus is so you can carry and feed a child. Your body tells you what your job is. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. I'm breaking up with you now. Have a good life. And she just come back with what? Yeah. So, and hey man, we don't know what the full extent of this argument or conversation was, right? But I mean, where was he wrong? Where was he wrong? All right, where was he wrong? Except maybe in the it worked for almost 3,000 years. It wasn't. It was. There's already things. Humanity was fucked up before women's suffrage. It's just that's when America's shit started getting rocky, and it only got worse after that, and then they had to free the slaves, and then a bunch of other stuff, right? But then oh my, our society's falling apart, man. Our society's falling apart. So but yeah, I mean, and what did he say was wrong? And it's true. If you just look at your body, all right, if you just look at your body, it will tell you, all right, what your intended purpose is, all right, as far as not of course as men, our intended purpose is to serve the Lord, but as far as living matters wise, women are gonna have naturally wider hips. Why do women have wider hips? Why won't somebody tell us? Please, someone tell us why women have wider hips. We don't know. We have no idea. No, of course we know. And it's been known before they had to go back and filibuster their way through history. All right, within these recent past, 10 years or 12 years or however long this fucking hellhole of this fucking alphabet soup crew bullshit has been going on. All right, because before you had them, but they've never been at this as this fucking gang force that they are now, where they're walking around trying to change definitions and change meanings of shit and fucking rewrite history, just like a fucking cracker to do, an Edomite. And most of these people leading this LMNOP fucking gang, because that's what it is, it's a fucking gang, are going around and they're changing history, and they're just that's what they do. And they're most of them are so-called white people, all right, Edomites. So who else but them to go and fucking try to change history? Now they're trying to say, oh no, there's gay animals. Oh no, animals are gay. No, they're trying to change everything. Oh no. It's not because women were made to birth. It's because, the reason why they have wide hips. Look, what does a female bird do? All right, she takes care of her chicks, and she lays her eggs. She takes care of her chicks. She builds up her house. All right, and she takes care of them and feeds them, okay? And she births them ultimately, all right? To the egg. It's not like a live birth like it is with mammals, but it's a birth, okay? What does a cat do? All right, they do what? They have birth. They give birth, and then they act as a motherly cat to their kittens, okay? So what is the female's job in humans society? Well, what do you think? And I mean, just look at the animals. And I'm not comparing us to animals, but you'll see the natural order of things by looking at nature. You'll see the natural order of things by looking at nature. And it's not always going to be 100% definitive, because even some of the nature's gotten fucked up. But if you look at it at its core, what does the male lion do? He goes out and he hunts. All right, he goes and brings back the food. All right, the woman stays with the cubs. All right, and then what? The man, trains with the cubs too, and plays with them, and helps them, become men, and become, roughhousing with them, right? So they can become big and strong. Okay, that's what they do. All right, and they get milk from their mom and nurturing from their mom. It's the same thing in the humans, man. It's the same thing with the humans. The women are there to nurture. All right, to take care of their husbands, to take care of their house. The men are there to go and provide for their families, to go out and hunt or gather the food or bring in the bread. All right, men have a purpose, women have a purpose. And the women are constantly trying to, get the men to do their purpose without wanting to fulfill their own. Okay, they want the men to go out and be the hunters and the gatherers and bring home the kill and bring home these things to gather up for the house. But they don't want to, nurture the cubs. They don't want to they don't want to do anything. And then they'll complain that, this, that, or this other, this other lion over here, that's the other thing with the women. They can never be happy with what they have. They have to look outside. All right. And that's not all women. All right. The women in this truth are a completely different breed. Okay. But women in the world, this is all for you, all right, the women in the world. The women in this truth, that's a completely different story. They're completely different beings, just as men in this truth are completely different beings than men in the world, okay? So don't get it twisted, but, these women of the world, man, and that's why, marriage rates are failing, relationships aren't really at that point. It's kind of just a fucking flea type of situation with this generation these days with Tinder. They just show up, do the deed and then leave. That's it, all right? There's not really... if you see people hanging out and they're together, you ask them, they're probably fucking polyamorous, which is just another term for a big fucking group orgy, where they all get together. Oh, I'm dating Bill. Bill's dating Jenna. Jenna's dating Chrissy. Chrissy's dating Tom. Tom's dating Larry. Larry's dating... What the fuck is this? And the thing is, and that's the society, man, society cannot stand at where it's at right now, man. It can't. It really can't. So I want to go and grab a scripture real quick before, it hits the 10-minute mark. But this is 1 Timothy 5:14. The women do have things that they're supposed to be doing, and men do have things that they're supposed to be doing. Men are supposed to be teaching, all right, and serving the Lord and taking care of their families, all right, and making sure that the women have the food to cook, and making sure that they have the tools and the supplies that they need to raise up the youth and to keep the house in order. And the man rules over the house, but the woman guides the house. Okay, as we're actually just going to read just now. So 1 Timothy 5:14, we have our roles, gender roles, as you would say. The man has his role, the woman has her role, and if the man's not doing his role, the woman's not doing her role, it's going to be very hard to coexist peacefully. 1 Timothy 5:14, I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, for some are already turned aside after Satan. Now let's slow down and backtrack and rewind that VHS tape just a little bit. So you're gonna say, well, how are we gonna do this? We're not perfect. You're right. We're absolutely not perfect. All right, in this day in society. All right, we're in the end days. All right, we're in hell. We're in punishment at the end of the day for the wickedness that we've done. So the man, all right, is not gonna be able to take 100% perfect care of the woman, and the woman is not gonna be able to take 100% perfect care of the man. All right, there's a lot of situations where, look, the jobs don't pay that much. All right, the man might not be able to have, a big, nice, fancy car or a fancy house or, anything like that. The woman might not be able to cook all the time. She might have a job of her own. All right, because you're not making, both of you don't make that much money. All right, a lot of people can't afford to move out, or they have to live with 18 roommates or things like this. So a lot of the time, there's compromises that have to be had. All right, a woman can't always cook all the time. All right. That's and it's one of those things where that is the job of a woman, but she might not be able to cook. If she has a job to go to, all right, she might not be able to cook. So you both might have to go and get fast food. All right, that might be a situation that happens. Again, this is not our rest. Remember in the scriptures, let's go and get it. This is Micah 2:10, and it reads, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction." So women, your men aren't going to be perfect. Men, your women aren't going to be perfect. All right. You might not be able to provide for the family as much as you want to provide. Your woman might not be able to cook as much as she'd like to cook. Look, it's a compromise. All right. The woman might have to do a little bit of things here and to the best of her, fulfill her womanly duties to the best of her abilities, and you as a man to fulfill your manly duties to the best of your ability. It's not going to be perfect. This is not our rest. If it was perfect, we'd have big, loving families with 14 different kids. Our wife would be cooking and taking care of the kids and enjoying her children, because a woman. That's one of. If you talk to the women of India and these heathen women, all right, and it's a damn shame that you have to go to the heathen women to get some amount of sense these days. But the heathen women, all right, specifically the Elamites, will say, being a mother is the most precious thing for a woman to do in her life. All right, and it's a shame that you have to go and get it from a goddamn stupid fucking Elamite to get that understanding. But hey, man, Jake sure don't got it. They don't get it, And these Edomites, they're the worst of the heathen. So they hate kids. They're all about this, this Planned Parenthood movement. All right, hell, they started the women's suffrage movement to begin with. Was the Edomite woman. All right, they were the ones that wanted to rebel the most. Okay, and then Jake followed right after him, followed right along with him, okay? And you don't realize that some of that suffrage movement also was to keep black women from having rights, all right? And you don't realize, and then you went along with the women's suffrage movement in the first wave of feminism and second wave and third wave. It's dumb, man. You don't even understand where this shit came from, okay? You don't understand the history behind it. The first women's suffrage movement came while you were still bound in chains, Eve, okay? You were still bound in chain, all right, living on a plantation. Okay, you had no rights. All right, and then later on you go on march. All right, with this movement that descended from women that were wanting more rights while you were in captivity, while other women were fighting against it because they didn't want black women to have rights. I bet you didn't know that, did you, Eve? Go and look it up. Go and look up the women's suffrage movement. Okay, everything, man. There's a meaning behind everything. Why is there no trespassing signs? Where do those come from? Slaves. All right. Slaves, because they didn't want us to be able to go on no trespassing, private property, because they didn't want us to. We knew where we could get fruits and vegetables and stuff. They didn't want that. Okay, they didn't want. That's the same reason why you don't see fruit trees anymore. You don't see anything. They don't want the homeless to be able to or the impoverished to be able to live freely. They want you to be bound to them. Okay, and it's ultimately the same reason why they're going to implement this mark of the beast, is because there's other means you can go around that now. But if you're going to be doing anything, man, with that mark, it's going to be known. If you're a farmer, you have to buy seeds. Where do you think that those are going to be? Unless you have seeds that you've stored up, and most of the farmers do, so that's good. But you go to buy something, they're going to know it. They're going to see that you bought Tekken 5, man. They're going to see that you went and you bought out 3 pounds of chicken, all right, and then you bought some barbecue sauce, all right. So they're going to see those things, then they're going to have to have full control. But that's besides the point. Lesson within a lesson. But yeah, man, this is not our rest. So our women aren't going to be perfect. Our men aren't going to be perfect. So you men, you got to take it a little bit easier on your women. All right, and you women have to take it a little bit easier on your man. He's not going to be able to provide you for the full extent, just like you're not going to be able to cook for that man or provide for that man to the full extent. All right, that's the thing. Don't be a hypocrite. All right, you can't look. We're both in a fucked up situation. All right, the men and women are already have curses on them. All right, which have them bickering at each other back and forth. Okay, so you're not going to be perfect. This isn't for perfection. All right, we're under the curses. This is not our rest. Okay, remember that. Remember that it's not our rest. All right, but speaking of how things perfectly in order should be, this is how it should be. 1 Timothy 5:14. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. Some are already, lascivious, hoes, all right? They're already for the street. They're already, lesbians or whatever. Dude, they've turned aside to Satan. They're off, all right? But the how a woman should be is that they should be, marrying, all right, looking for a suitable mate, all right, for a man to take them, all right, and to want to have children, all right, to bear children, okay, and to guide the house, to raise the children up and teach the children, and help their husband and guide their husband in decision making, right? Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, right? For some are already turned aside after Satan, but the decent women, the younger women, all right, that's what they should be doing, because some of these women are already gone. They're already lost, and we already see it, man. We already see it, and a lot of time these women and these other people try to demonize us, and they try to demonize the truth, and ultimately try to demonize Yahweh Shem Yahushai or Paul, right? Or because Paul wrote some things that they didn't like, which it's ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushai's word that's within this Bible that was allowed to be, it was ordained by the Lord, that was allowed to be written by men. Okay, inspired by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But these people, give me a minute. Let me, one of those, keep on sampling. How are you going to have an instrumental, but it's not even fucking instrumental? What type of shit is that? That doesn't make sense, does it? It's not an instrumental, then, is it? Anyway, Slakia, little rant. But, they ultimately, the problem is that they have a problem with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they try to say that this truth or the Bible is sexist, or it's anti-woman, it hates women. The Bible doesn't ever hate women, all right? It hates wicked women just like it hates wicked men. No one ever says about you don't ever hear men talking about all it does is it just brings down men. The Bible just brings down men. You never hear that. You never hear it, even though it talks about men being put to death, men being killed, wicked men. All right, men setting snares, and just evil men, and evil Edomites, and evil other heathen nations, and evil Israelites. You never hear men go, all it talks about is just killing men, and it's hating men. It's such an anti-men book. But no, you have a couple of scriptures about women doing things that they shouldn't. You have Eve. You have a couple other occurrences of wicked women, and all of a sudden the Bible's anti-woman. What the fuck is that shit, man? There's no accountability. No accountability. Yeah, the Bible's anti-woman, and it has scriptures like this. Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. All right. So let's go back up. And another thing is that a virtuous woman, did you know that this truth is often referred to as a woman? Did you know that? So if the Bible was so anti-woman, okay, why would it sometimes refer to as this truth as a woman? Okay, why would, if women were so, terrible human beings, why would the Bible, all right, or why would the Lord refer to Israel, or why would the Lord be referred to as a husbandmaid, all right, and us, Israel, as the bride? Why? If women are so terrible, they're not. Now, wicked women are very fucking awful. Yes, they're absolutely terrible. Wicked women, they're terrible. Eve, awful. Just completely awful. All right? Don't get us wrong. There ain't no woman worship going on down here. No, these wicked women are fucking terrible walking around with this Planned Parenthood bullshit. All right? Wicked men are fucking terrible too. All right? But the point is that men and women have their set goals and their set roles. All right, and it's only women that complain about it most of the time. All right, on the hand of, you have men, complaining about their task, about teaching or whatever. But as far as, trying to make it as in the Bible's like anti them. All right, the Bible's anti women. No, it's not. All right, the only thing that the Bible's anti plenty of things. All right, and yes, you Mose, yep, it's anti-you. It is anti-you, so you can click off because the Bible doesn't affirm anything that you do, and it actively condemns it. So you can go away, all right? And you men that think you're women, it condemns you too. And you women that think you're men, it condemns you too. You fucking stud-ass fucking, what's that motherfucker's name? You RuPaul-looking ass motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. 1 Timothy 2:12, it says, but there's rules. Just like there's rules for men, there's rules for women. 1 Timothy 2:12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. There's one of the main things with women and men. Does that mean that women are stupid and dumb and that they're awful and that they should just go away and that the Lord hates them and that everybody should just walk up and throw rocks at them? No, it doesn't mean that. All right, it just means they're under subjectiveness under the Lord and ultimately the man. All right, they can't usurp authority over the man, just like we have our role with, let's go and get it, where Yahushai and Yahweh is over us. We can't usurp authority over them. You can't usurp authority over us. We can't usurp. That's a one-sided rule. We can't usurp authority over you. Well, no, that's not really one-sided at all, because you can't usurp authority over us because we're your Lord, and we can't usurp authority over our Lord. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We can't try to usurp authority and put ourselves over Yahushai. All right, but you don't hear us bitching about it. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. You don't hear Yahushai bitching about it. Or you don't hear him complaining, saying that the Father's over him. No, he gives honor unto the Father. Matter of fact, he says, no one's perfect but the Father. All right, he's perfect. Don't call me perfect. Why callest thou me good? All right. Why callest thou me good? No one's good but the Father, roughly paraphrasing, right? So he's shown respect. Just like we should show respect to Yahushai and Yahweh, just like you should show respect to us, Yahushai and Yahweh, just like the children should show respect to you, the Father, Yahushai, and Yahweh. See, there's an order, man. Order, order, order. And without order, what is there? Without order, what's the opposite of order? Let's go and look. What's the opposite of order? Disorder, misorder, confusion, a mess, unsortedness, disarray. All right, ultimately, the word I was looking for was chaos. Okay, let's go and get chaos. What is chaos? I spelled that backwards. There we go. Chaos, complete disorder and confusion. That's if without order, there is chaos. All right, without chaos, there is order. What is chaos? Disorder. Disorganization, confusion, mayhem, bedlam, right? It's completely out of order, chaos, okay? And there is a set order that everything has to be done, all right? The women, all right, are subject to the men. The men are subject to Yahushai and Yahweh, Yahweh Yahushai. Yahushai is subject unto the Lord, all right? And the Lord's the Lord, all right? Yahweh is Yahweh. He's not subject to anybody, all right? He is him, the ultimate, all right? The Heavenly Father, the omnipotent, all right? That's him. All right, he doesn't answer to nobody, okay? But everybody under that answers to somebody, okay? Children answer to the mother and the father. The mother answers to the woman answers to the man and to Yahweh, well, of course, going on down. All right, and to Yahushai and to Yahweh, and the man to Yahushai and Yahushai to Yahweh. All right, on down and on up. All right, there is order. Ultimately, there is order, and the only place there's still order now is between Yahushai and Yahweh. They're the only two that haven't tried to switch roles, okay? And men are trying to, women trying to jump above men, doing this, women, children jumping over women and all this. But there's always remained order between Yahushai and Yahweh because they're in one mind, all right? They are one, all right? Not as in one being, but as one, as in the same agreement. They understand order, all right? They don't want chaos. They're fighting for the same side, as some would say, right? That's how it goes, and that's why there's still order with Yahweh and Yahushai, and there's not order with men, women, and children. All right, because you got children over here. Fuck you, dad. You motherfucker. Fuck you, mom. And these women, you ain't gonna tell me shit. You ain't my daddy. You ain't gonna do. And look, man. And that's why there's so much order in the house. You got these badass kids fucking being badasses, little baby ass, little fucking kids running around, getting all sorts of goddamn trouble. And you got these women that are trying to, oh, you ain't shit. Where have you been? You been working? You don't even make enough money. All you do, you work 47 hours, and all you bring home is this check. Well, damn. Some people, look, some people can't get that good of a job, man. Look, we're not Edomites at the end of the day. We're not going to get a $30 an hour job. You think if we had a $30 an hour job, we'd stay with some bitchin' ass fool like you? Absolutely not. Okay? You know? So, you know, and thankfully, most of the men in this truth don't have to deal with women like that. All right? But some might. Some might as their hell. But thankfully, most of us don't have to deal with that. All right? But hey, pity to the men that do. All right? 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, here's something for us as men. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. See, it says you need to give honor unto the woman. It didn't say I need to give honor unto the woman. It doesn't say anywhere that I need to give honor unto the woman. It says I need to give honor unto the wife. You ain't no wife, Sharquisha. Back your ass down and go away. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Being heirs together. You're a team, man. You and the woman are a team. You're not on opposite sides of the battle on the fucking, what do you call it? Boxing ring. You know, throw your gloves up, bitch. No, that's not what it is. You're on the same team, man. You're on the same team. You're tackling the same goals, the same obstacles, all right? Ultimately, all right? Here's together of the grace of life. And you're bringing forth children together. It takes two, all right? It takes the man's sperm and the woman's eggs to be fertilized, right? It doesn't just take one or the other, all right? So, yeah, and the woman's the weaker vessel. She's going to be more emotional. She's going to be more susceptible to demonic attacks. So take that into perspective and understand that. So give honor unto the wife. It doesn't say give honor to the woman. It says give honor unto the wife. So that means you to get honor, you have to be honorable. All right, you have to be a wife. All right, and going around and popping a bunch of men. All right, and cheating and coming back home and you ain't shit. Where you been all day? Where you been, bitch? That ain't a wife. All right, you can't honor that. You can't honor that. Okay, a wife is a wife. A hood rat's a hood rat. There's a difference. Let's get 2 Titus 2:1-5. Let me grab a drink. All right. Here's more importance of a woman. Titus 2:1-5. And see, that's the only thing you women come at us with, man, is that oh, you hate women. You hate women. We love women. What the fuck are you talking about? We love women. What the fuck? We hate women. No. You hate men, though. You actively hate men. You do. You hate men. You create movements. All right? But you know, you say because we talk about the wicked women that we hate women. All right, but you never say when we're talking about wicked men, when we're talking about people like, we talk about certain wicked things that have happened. All right, when we're talking about the wickedness, the wicked Jakes, or oh, these wicked men that went and did this, and these false prophets, and these liars, and these thieves, and these damn mockers and scoffers, and these damn idiots, man, these wicked ass motherfuckers, you wicked ass dudes out there, man, you motherfucker. You never say, oh, you hate men. You hate men. You never say that. But why? Why is it when we say anything about a woman, it's we hate women? It's because you lack accountability. There's your definition for the day. All right, there's the word of the day, Sesame Street. Sesame Street word of the day. Go and look that up. Accountability. Accountability. Go and look that word up because you don't know what it is. Verse 1, Titus 2:1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober in mind, doesn't mean you can't drink, grave, temperate, sound in faith, charity, and patience. There's things that men have to be, right? The aged women, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, right? Not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, not be a hoe, and just be discreet, man. Don't be all out and, chaste, all right? Keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you're a woman, if you're calling yourself the woman of the Lord and you're acting like this, the word of the Lord is being blasphemed. What is blaspheme? What's blaspheme? All right.
Blaspheme.
Speak irreverent about Yahweh or sacred things. Okay. And, show contempt, disrespect, or lack of reverence concerning a deity or an object considered sacred or something considered inviolable. And really, you're disrespecting the Lord by disrespecting His law and His order that He set up for men and women. Okay. That's ultimately how it's happening. Okay. And remember, your women aren't going to be perfect. And remember, you women, your men aren't going to be perfect. You're both under the curses. All right, you're both under curses. Or if you're, if your wife happens to be heathen, even more so, she's not going to be perfect, man, because she's a heathen. She's a dirty little heathen. Okay, but your Jake wives and your Jake husbands look. You're both under the curses, man. It ain't going to be perfect. Isaiah 5:20. All right, but this is where we're going to close out, because so many people these days, will call something like this. They call good evil and good and evil good. They say you dodged a bullet there. I love the "I'm breaking up with you" line. Like, he's assuming after saying all that shit, you'd still want to be within 10 feet of this loser. And see, these people call good evil and evil good. They call order bad. They call disorder good. They say, oh, a man being with a woman and having children, that's a bad thing. That's slavery for a woman. A homosexual man popping another man in the ass and coming out with dookie dick, Slakia, I know it's disgusting. That's a great thing. That's a wonderful thing, and we should encourage more of it. And a matter of fact, we should get these dookie dicks to walk around in the fucking park around our children with big giant fucking purple and red and yellow and all these different colored dildos, walking around with flags with gay shit all over it right in front of our children, just marching through the street. We need more of that, but we need less of men and women getting along. We need less marriage, less children, and more of this chaotic disorder ass bullshit. You see, this is the state where the world's come to, man. You're in a state where they're bigging up something that's so evil and they're tearing down something that's so precious. All right, they want they want the men and women to be separate. All right, and they want the men and women to be joined together. Look, society's all fucking out of order, and they call good evil and evil good. Order? Oh, that's terrible. Disorder? Oh, that's great. We love disorder and chaos and discord. Woohoo! America was founded on chaos and disorder. Babylon means what? Babel, a confused noise. This place is confusion. Okay? So you have people saying, good riddance. This isn't dodging a bullet. That's not being there in 1945 Japan. It says, well, with that logic, since the guy's brain is running on empty, I guess his job in society isn't to think. The fuck are you talking about, man? It says, the bullet she dodged is huge. It's probably bigger than the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Bro did her a favor. Who says chivalry is dead? Ask him why he has nipples. Why? What does that have to do with anything? Because he said the reason you have nipples. You realize that men nipples and women nipples are different, right? You do realize that a woman's breast is different than a male's breast, right? If you look into the actual anatomy of the breast, you do know it's different, right? You know that the women have different things. Their ducts are set up different, and they have different, lobules and different things like that have different ways to carry milk and store things. And people say, well, men can technically lactate. It's not the same lactation that can provide sustenance, and it's not a normal thing. As a man, if you're lactating, that is an underlying health condition that needs to be looked into. Okay, it's not a normal thing. All right, and if you have titties as a man, that's because you're overweight or you're having too much, you're eating too much food that's like soy, that's causing too much that's killing your testosterone and building up estrogen and causing you to get titties, and it's ultimately going to lead to losing hair as well. All right, you're going to have hair loss. All right, as well as other things, probably like penile shrinkage and other shit. So that's not something that you want. That's not something that you want to strive for. That is a legitimate health concern that you do not want. If you're growing titties, start losing some weight. If you're lactating, maybe get that checked, because that's not a normal thing for a man to have. Okay, that's not a normal thing. If you're having hair loss, it's probably because you're not having enough testosterone in your diet. All right, let's see. I'm gonna just fact check this, and it might say no, but can a man is a male losing hair caused by lack of testosterone? Boom, boom, boom. Hair loss commonly stems from low levels of testosterone. While hair loss can be due to aging, why is hair loss due to aging? Do you know what happens when you get older as a male? Do you know what happens? You lose testosterone. All right, you lose testosterone. That's one of the things. All right, so hair loss commonly stems from low levels of testosterone. What are other symptoms of low testosterone? Symptoms of low testosterone. What do we have here? Reduced sex drive, erectile dysfunction, fatigue, hot flashes, muscle weakness or loss of muscle. You know, look, man, you know, that's what happens, man. You start losing your muscle, start losing your strong, you start getting titties. All right, you start losing your hair. Your thing starts not be able to get it up. All right, you have no sex drive, beard no longer growing in. You know, and you know, low sperm count, sleep problems such as insomnia. You know, those are all signs of lack of testosterone. Okay. But see, these people, they're uneducated, they're unlearned, and they say stupid shit like that. Why? Because they love the chaos and disorder that's in the world. This is where we're going to close out. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them, and woe is death and destruction and chaos and disorder. Woe, it's really destruction, but chaos causes destruction. It's you know, all part of a big Jenga block toppling over ultimately at the end of the day. But woe is great miseries and woes and sorrows and distress and hurts and pains, right? That's woe and ultimately destruction. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call good evil. Slocky, I got it backwards. I had to reread it. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. There you go, man. And that's the state of society we're in now. We're in the state of society where everything good is bad and everything bad is good. It's good for a woman to be brutish and be solo and alone and not have a man. It's bad for a woman to be with a man. All right, it's bad for a man to be with a woman. It's better for a man to be with a man. You see here where we're at? This society's fucked up and it's all back assward, man. And it's fucked and it's got to go. It's got to go. And our Lord and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right, Yahushai is going to be sent back to destroy this place and deliver his elect. And we're hoping and praying that, Lord willing, we're part of the elect. All right, because we want to get out of this place in one piece and see this place destroyed and crumbled, because this place has got to go. You know, they've lied to they've lied to the men, they've lied to the women, they've lied to the children. Everything's a lie. Everything's confusion. Everything's a psyop. We're all against each other. Everything's completely out of order. They're trying to ban this truth. They're trying to get, and we gotta go. We gotta go. We can't stay here. Again, as we read earlier, the rise ye and apart, for this is not your rest. It shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. It is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. Roughly paraphrasing. We got to go, because this guy didn't even say anything wrong. All right, other than maybe being wrong on exactly when the years started taking place that this shit started happening. That's it, man. That's the lesson. We're going to close out. Lord, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwidash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. Don't let any of these psyops and this weird bullshit going around get to your head. You women are appreciated. You men, keep doing what you're doing. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.